In this question, you have to identify how many hotspots of biodiversity in the world have been identified till date by Norman Myers. Norman Myers initially identified 25 biodiversity hotspots in the world, but over time, as the concept evolved and more regions were studied, the number was later expanded to 34 biodiversity hotspots based on criteria such as endemic species and habitat loss. Hence, the correct answer is option A, 34 biodiversity hotspot. In this question, you have to identify the primary producers of the deep sea hydrothermal vent ecosystem. Option A, blue-green algae. It is incorrect because blue-green algae, that is cyanobacteria, are photosynthetic microorganisms that require sunlight to produce energy. But in the deep sea hydrothermal vent ecosystem, sunlight is absent. So they cannot function as primary producers. Option B, coral reefs. It is also incorrect because coral reefs are found in shallow water and are not primary producers. Rather, they rely on symbiotic algae, that is zooxanthellae, for energy, which also requires sunlight. Option C, green algae. It is also incorrect because these are photosynthetic and they depend on sunlight. So they cannot survive in the lightless environment of the deep sea hydrothermal vents. Option D, chemosynthetic bacteria. Now these bacteria are the primary producers in the deep sea hydrothermal vent ecosystems because they use chemical energy from compounds like hydrogen sulfide, which is abundant in these areas because of the emissions to produce organic molecules through chemosynthesis. So these bacteria form the base of the food web in this type of ecosystem. Hence, it is the correct option. In this question, you have to identify the correct statement regarding R-selected species. Now, R-selected species are organisms that thrive in very unstable environments. So, they reproduce quickly and they produce a large number of offsprings to increase the chances of survival. So, these species are usually have small offspring and they provide little or no parental care, and they have a very short lifespan because they grow and reproduce rapidly, making them well suited to colonize new or disturbed areas. And examples include insects like flies and mosquitoes, then fishes like sardines, or very fast growing plants like weeds or dandelions. Hence, the correct answer is option C, that is large number of progeny with small size. In this question, it is given that if plus sign is assigned to beneficial interaction and minus sign is detrimental and O or zero sign to neutral interaction, then the population interaction represented by plus minus refers to option A, commensalism. It is incorrect because it refers to a relationship where one organism benefits and the other is unaffected, that is neutral interaction. So this would be represented by plus and O. Option B, parasitism. Now, in parasitism, one organism, that is the parasite, benefits at the expense of the host. This interaction can be represented by plus and minus, where plus indicates benefits to the parasite and minus indicates the harm caused to the host. Hence, it is the correct option. Option C, mutualism. It is also incorrect because it is a relationship where both organisms benefit from the interaction. So, this would be represented by plus and plus as both parties benefit. Option D, amensalism. It is incorrect because It is a relationship where one organism is harmed and the other is unaffected. So this would be represented by minus and O. In this question, you have to identify the correctly matched pair. Option A, Parthenium hysterophorus is to threat to biodiversity. Now, this species, which is also known as Congress grass, is an invasive species that poses a significant threat to biodiversity because it outcompetes native plants, disrupts the ecosystem, and also affects agricultural productivity. Hence, it is the correct match. Hence, it is the correct option also. Option B, stratification is to population. This is incorrect because stratification refers to the layering or vertical arrangement of different plant species or communities in an ecosystem, particularly in forests. So it is not directly related to populations. Option C, Erenchyma is to Opuntia. It is also incorrect because Erenchyma refers to specialized tissue found in plants that allows for the movement of gases and provides buoyancy. That is aquatic plants mainly, such as lilies, but not Opuntia, which is a genus of cacti found in desert. Option D, age pyramid is to bio. This is also incorrect because an age pyramid is a graphical representation of the age distribution within a population and it is not related to bio, which are large ecological areas that are defined by climate, vegetation and other environmental factors. Red list contains data or information on option A, threatened species. The red list, which is compiled by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, that is IUCN, contains data on species that are at the risk of extinction. So it categorizes species based on their conservation status, such as vulnerable, endangered, critically endangered, and so on. Hence, it is the correct option. Option B, marine vertebrates only. It is incorrect because the red list includes information on all types of species, not just marine vertebrates. Option C, all economically important plants. It is also incorrect because the red list is not focused on economically important plants, but rather on species that are at risk of extinction, regardless of their economic value. Option D, plants whose products are in the international trade. It is also incorrect because the list itself is focused on the conservation status of species, not their status of trade. Biochemical oxygen demand, that is BOD, may not be a good index for pollution for water bodies receiving effluents from option A, petroleum industry. Now, biochemical oxygen demand measures the amount of oxygen required by microorganisms to decompose organic matter in water. And effluents from the petroleum industry contain non-biodegradable hydrocarbons and other chemicals which do not significantly contribute to BOD. So, making it unsuitable index for pollution from this source. Hence, it is the correct option. Option B, sugar industry. Now, sugar industry effluents are rich in organic matter, which increases BOD due to microbial deposition. Hence, it is incorrect. Option C, domestic sewage. It is also incorrect because domestic sewage contains high amounts of biodegradable organic matter, making BOD a reliable indicator of pollution. Option D, dairy industry. Now, dairy industry effluents also contain biodegradable organic substances like proteins, fats, contributing to high BOD levels. Hence, it is also incorrect. In this question, you have to identify the name of the scientist who proposed the principle of competitive exclusion. Option A, MacArthur. It is incorrect because he is known for his work on resource partitioning and niche differentiation. Option B, Verhulst and Pearl. It is also incorrect because they contributed to population dynamics and are known for the logistic growth equation. Option C. Darwin. Now, Darwin's work laid the foundation for evolutionary biology, but he did not state the principle of competitive exclusion. Hence, it is incorrect. Option D, G.F. Gause. Now, he proposed the competitive exclusion principle, also known as Gauss's law, which states that two species competing for the same limited resources cannot coexist indefinitely. Hence, it is the correct option. In this question, you have to identify the name of the national park which is home to the famous musk deer or hangul. Now, Dachigam National Park is home to hangul, that is Kashmir stag, which is a subspecies of red deer, and also it houses the musk deer, both of which are endangered species. Hence, the correct answer is option B, that is Dachigam National Park, Jammu and Kashmir. A lake which is rich in organic waste may result in option A, increased population of fish due to lots of nutrients. It is incorrect. Now, organic waste initially provide nutrient, but the resulting algal bloom and the subsequent oxygen depletion due to eutrophication harm the fish population. Option B, mortality of fish due to lack of oxygen. Now, organic waste promotes the growth of algae, leading to an algal bloom. So, when algae die and decompose, this process consumes the dissolved oxygen, creating hypoxic conditions, that is, low level of oxygen that cause fish mortality. Hence, it is the correct option. Option C, increased population of aquatic organisms due to minerals. Now, although minerals might support certain aquatic life forms initially, but oxygen depletion due to organic waste eventually reduces the overall aquatic biodiversity. Hence, it is incorrect. Option D, drying of the lake due to algal bloom. Now, it is incorrect because algal bloom do not cause the lake to dry, but they lead to oxygen depletion and also changes the aquatic life composition. In this question, you have to identify the organism in which the highest DDT concentration in aquatic food chain shall occur. Now, as seagulls are the apex predators, they exhibit the highest DDT concentration due to the phenomenon of biomagnification, where DDT accumulates and magnifies at each trophic level in the food chain. Hence, the correct answer is option D.